Hello, traders. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, depending on which part of the world you are joining us from, right? Welcome to it. Welcome to it. I'm just gonna touch base on fundamental analysis. This is just a course on fundamental analysis, right? And a lot of people have always wondered why they are not making money through the forex market. Mostly it's because they would have they are focusing more on technical analysis, right? But there is also the fundamental side of things, the fundamental analysis. And what is fundamental analysis? Fundamental analysis is basically the study of economic data, is the study of economic data, and fundamental analysis are what drive the market. They are what drives the market. So for us to have a bullish dollar, for example, we need to have data that is positive coming from the US, like economic data, positive stuff coming from the US, for example. For us to have good things happening on the Japanese economy, we need to have good economic data coming from and if it's negative, it means it's gonna affect that currency or whatever is happening on the market. It will affect it inversely or negatively, right? And a lot of people always forget. A lot of people always wonder why they are not really making money, and this is because of people who don't really know about fundamental analysis. And don't forget to subscribe, like our videos, share your thoughts, and so on and so forth. This is just going to be a brief introduction to fundamental analysis, and we will have the next episode. I think we'll make about 3 episodes to cover this fundamental analysis, right? So fundamental analysis is basically divided into 3 categories, right? So 3 categories, which will be your central bank decisions, things. Central bank is basically like Bank of Botswana, Bank of Canada, Reserve Bank of South Africa, and so on and so forth, right? So they have those decisions that they make that can affect the market positively or negatively for whatever reason, right? So there's 3 categories: central bank decisions, and we also have economic decisions, or economic data decisions, and we also have or economic figures, if I may call it that. And we also have economic events. That's the third one, economic events, right? So for example, if you look at central bank decisions, what do we look at? Central bank decisions will be looking at things like your inflation, how it affects the one currency against another one, your inflation, your interest rate, not internet, but interest rate decisions, and so on and so forth. So, for example, in the US, the interest rate is called the Fed decision. In Canada, is called the cash rate or something, and so on and so forth. It has different. In Europe, is called the monetary refinancing rate for the euro. And these are just different terms that they use, Hubuaka interest rate. And we also have, we also have what? I said we also have economic figures, right? Economic figures. This will be like your unemployment rate, your retail sales, retail sales, and also we also have trade balances, trade balances, trade balances, and we also have both GDP growth. There's so many. We also have PMIs. We have manufacturing PMIs. Like it's a lot, like manufacturing PMIs, and so on and so forth, right? And we also have, last but not least, economic events. These are fundamentals, by the way. And for you to master this thing, you need to master both. You need to know a bit of both. You need to know your technicals and try to match them with your fundamentals. Then you will always have an edge on the market. And you always have to know that these things, they are what drive the market. I digress. But then going back to my topic, economic events. Economic events, these are things like the speeches by bank governors, or in the case of the US, the Fed, Mr. Jerome Powell can speak, or the Bank of England governor, they'll be speaking. These are your speeches, like the speech, hubua, like basic, making economic, those monetary, inflation, monetary, this decision, and so on, monetary policy decisions and things like that, fiscal policies and things like that, right? So economic events, we have speeches, we also have political, there is also political side of it, or politics, and we also have things like dintwa, war. We also have trade. We also have trade frictions. Just like you can see that Mr. Trump, the new president of the US, has the world by the scruff. Like he's already talking about tariffs. He's literally gone on an economic war with other countries. Like he also wants to impose tariffs on Canada. So these are things that really move the market fundamentally. You understand what I'm saying? So under economic events, it's mostly things like your geopolitics, your war in Ukraine and Russia, your war in Israel and Palestine, and so on and so forth, right? So we'll have part 2 of this. I'll break it down for you slowly but surely. Just keep it logged. Keep on subscribing and watching our content. Leave a comment below. In the next topic, I'm going to be breaking it further down. Thank you so much for joining. Let's keep on downloading money.